Hey St. Peter kiddos, we're in week 5 of Music Lessons Online, and we've covered all of our instrument families, our woodwinds, our brass, our strings, and our percussion. So what could we possibly have left to talk about, right? We've covered them. Well, it got me thinking that I think what would be really fun is to talk about musical instruments around the world, okay? So it's been really fun for me this week because they've done a bunch of research on different types of instruments that are found all over. And, you know, some of the instruments are things that you and I have heard of, or we've seen, or we've even heard played live, even though they're not an instrument that's commonly found in our state or even our country. But there are so many cool instruments out there that I had never heard of. So it was really neat, and I hope you are excited to see some of these instruments today. Every week we start with dance movement. And last week I had our awesome teachers and staff and Father Gregory who were willing to dance with me. This week it's just me and a couple helpers. And I thought to myself, if we're doing instruments around the world, then maybe I should do some sort of cool cultural music to dance to this week. So you're going to have to forgive my steps because I'm not amazing, but it's getting warmer outside. We're getting closer to summer. I'm really missing the sun and the beach right now, so why not hula? We're going to hula to an instrument that we're going to talk about, which is the ukulele, okay? The ukulele is not necessarily an instrument that comes from another country necessarily because it's predominantly Hawaiian, but it does tie into that music genres that we talked about last semester when we were talking about cultural music, right? Latino music, island music. So today we're going to dance it out to some hula. Get ready. Okay, so when we hula, it's important to keep your knees bent, all right? Because it helps with moving your hips, all right? We're going to keep the steps really, really simple because they're not easy, especially for me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, fast. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to slow it down again and take 2 steps to the right. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now move your arms to this position. See how I'm keeping my legs bent? Okay, we're going to straighten one arm, the arm that's leaning in our direction, like this. And now we're going to add hula hands. It's just a little wave. Oh, I already want to be at the beach. Woo! Okay, watch. We're going to change our move. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and turn. Now on the other side. Ready? 2, turn. Okay, ready? And back to center. Back to the beginning. Put your arms here. Step. 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 Now double time. Ready? Here we go. Double it up. 1, 2. Now we're going to go to the right with our arms, our hula hands. Here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm officially ready for the beach and ready for summer after hula dancing. So, just so you know, hula dance is actually a form of storytelling. And so, a lot of the moves that we did actually belong to storytelling with other Hawaiian music. I wanted you to be able to learn certain simple hula moves, though, so that we were doing it authentically. I wasn't making these things up. So, I'm not the greatest at it. You could maybe ask Mrs. Schneider to show you some moves because I know she spent a lot of time living in Hawaii, so she probably has some awesome hula moves she could share with you. But we're not here to just talk about hula today. We're here to talk about instruments around the world. And the first instrument we're going to talk about comes from the land down under. That's right, Australia. And it is the didgeridoo. The didgeridoo is a wind instrument of the Indigenous Australians or Aboriginal Australians. The didgeridoo is a long, hollow tube, often a tree root, about 5 feet long and slightly curved at the lower end. The musician squats on the ground, resting the instrument on the earth and fitting their mouth into the straighter upper end. Then they blow down into the tube, producing an intermittent drone. No one knows the didgeridoo's exact age, but it's commonly claimed to be the world's oldest wind instrument. Archaeological studies in northern Australia suggest the Aboriginal people of the Northern Territory have been using the didgeridoo for about 1,500 years, but it's believed to have been around nearly 40,000 years. Let's have a listen. The next instrument is called the glass harmonica. It uses a series of glass bowls of different sizes that produce sounds of different frequencies when subject to friction. Benjamin Franklin invented the first mechanical model of this instrument in 1761. On account of its popularity, several composers started writing music for glass harmonica. The most famous were Mozart and Beethoven. Two other famous glass harmonica players were George Washington and Marie Antoinette. Our next instrument is the SEM Entron. It's a percussion instrument used in monasteries to summon monks to prayer and can be dated back to the early 6th century. The instrument comes in 3 varieties: a long wooden plank held in the player's left hand and struck with a wooden mallet in the right, a larger, heavier fixed timber block suspended by chains and struck by 1 or 2 mallets, and a fixed metal variety, often horseshoe-shaped and struck by a metal mallet. Have a listen. This next instrument may just look like a pretty seashell, and you're right, it is. But it's also called the conch, and it's a musical instrument of the wind family. It's a horn made from a seashell. Conches are made by cutting a hole in the shell's spire close to the apex or the pointed tip. Sometimes a mouthpiece is added. The player will blow into the hole and the sound comes out of the largest part of the shell. Various cultures around the world have used conches for centuries, including those in India, the Caribbean, Malta, Korea, Japan, and other Pacific islands. Conches have existed since the Upper Paleolithic period, and are frequently used as a signaling instrument to call people to work, meals, or festivals. One of our more modern instruments is the hydraulophone. It's a musical instrument in which sounds are created by flowing water. In the hydraulophone, water is pumped into a curved horizontal tube and spurts out a series of small holes on the top of the tube. If a person places a finger over a hole, the water is directed past the associating sound mechanism and diverted to another part of the instrument. Each sounding mechanism creates a different note, allowing music to be played. If more than one hole is covered at the same time, multiple notes can be played together. It's fun and easy to play, although a skilled player can produce a wider variety of sounds than a beginner. Take a listen. And last but certainly not least, we come to the mighty war pipes, or bagpipes as we know them. While we're used to seeing them played by men and women from the UK, the pipes are thought to be Middle Eastern in origin, possibly dating back as far as 4000 BC. The unique construction of bagpipes means that the high-pitched and very high decibel shrills and skirls that come from them can be heard for several miles. Modern pipes are made of four main sections: the blowpipe, the chanter, bag, and drones. The blowpipe's used to inflate the bag, while the drones create the music when the pipes are played. Each one has a reed contained within and can be tuned to different keys. As the air escapes the bag, a constant low droning noise is heard. When the bag is squeezed harder, more air escapes, increasing the volume and pitch of the drone, with the tone differing depending on the piper's finger position. The chanter is the most well-known part of the bagpipes. It's held by the piper in both hands, and the chanter is a long stem with holes. As the player moves their fingers to cover and uncover the holes, the airflow within the instrument changes and the notes change too, just like with instruments such as the clarinet or the flute. If you travel to Scotland, you're sure to hear the distinct and unique sounds of the pipes. But in case you can't get over there to take a listen to this Scottish band playing for a parade. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed learning about these 6 new instruments from around the world, and I hope you learned something you didn't know before. And I'm really enjoying seeing you guys on Zoom sessions. If you didn't join us last week for Zoom, please join us this Friday. I love being able to actually talk to you in person and see your sweet little faces. So please join me in our Zoom sessions on Fridays. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and aloha!
Would you rather be in Hawaii? How about you, Rock?